I myself was never threatened, but I was in some really dangerous areas. And this was, I mean, I think missionaries who go to South America like to make it sound like they were in this like super dangerous ghetto, and they like survived by this skin on their neck or whatever. But I was in one of the most dangerous. They call them favelas. A favela is a Brazilian word for a slum. And my very first area was. So I guess I'm going to tell you a story that's kind of like that, but it really wasn't that dangerous for missionaries because, well, I'll just tell you. So my very first area was called Abolição, means abolition. It's a district within the city of Rio itself, and there is a favela there called O Complexo do Alemão, which means the German complex, and it is probably one of the top 5 most dangerous favelas in Brazil, if not like the second most. I think I've heard Brazilians call it the second most dangerous, behind Ocinha, which is another one in Rio. But it's the way favelas work is they're usually run by a drug lord, and so there's a drug lord and he has his cronies, which his guards that patrol around and stuff, and they get kids into into these gangs effectively. They're drug cartels, but it's a gang. It's organized crime. They get kids into these cartels pretty young. I mean, I remember my very first day. We climbed the hill, subimos o morro, which means you go in favela because they're always on hills, and we were in this little VW van that had been retrofitted to be a bus. Super sketchy, made in like 1970 probably, and we're just kind of like trundling up this narrow road into this favela, and there's one street that goes to the favela, and everything else is just alleyways. There's no addresses. There's no organized system of. There's no infrastructure because the city didn't make this. The people just made it, and then drug lords moved in, and kind of took over and became I guess you could say the dictators of the favela. But anyway, so we get up there, and I remember getting out of the car because we were going to a lunch. There was a sister who lived up top of the hill. We're going to lunch up there, and I remember standing there, and these 2 kids, probably maybe 15 years old, riding by on motorbikes with these huge military assault rifles strapped to their backs. I mean, I didn't check out the guns myself, but I would imagine it's probably around like a 7.62 caliber round, or 7.62 millimeter. So it's like these really big military rounds, and the reason I'm guessing that is because we got to the lunch, and we're eating lunch, and the sister's son brings out his collection of gun shells, and apparently shortly before, a few days before, this is my first day, so a few days before I'd gotten there, the police had gone up in the favela. When that happens, it's basically just all-out war. The police fighting the gangs, and the boy had gone up the next morning and collected like 100 shells of just various calibers. And in the bag he had 9 millimeters, he had 38s. He had these huge 7.62 millimeter assault rifle rounds. So I don't know, it's pretty intense stuff. The drug cartels have access to a lot of firepower, and it's really ugly, and it's really sad actually because drug cartels are going to dominate the life of everyone in the favela. Like I say, kids get pulled into the gangs really early, and then they never escape. They die, or they get addicted to drugs, or what have you. And it's like a vicious, impoverished cycle. So that's really sad, and that's probably it's definitely one of the uglier sides of Brazil that I saw.